Yeah. Fly was flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird gang nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, Hunting like Randall. Season here, early time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.
What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast. We got another one, man. We in here. So today we have a very special guest, my guy Shane Simpson from Virginia and Towson. How are you doing today, man? Thank you so much for taking the time.
Man, I appreciate you. I'm doing really well. Can't complain.
Oh no, we're excited. Trust me, I think a lot of my fans, I know I'm excited. So I'm excited to hear what you got to say, man. So we'll get right into it, man. So the way that I like to kind of structure my interviews is I like to bring us from the locker room and then we'll go out onto the field. So my first question to you is really, when you're in that locker room, do you listen? What hypes you up? Are you a listen to the music type guy, or are you just like a focus type guy? What type of hype do you get in that locker room?
Yeah, so like when I'm in the locker room, like going out for like workouts before we go on the field for the game. Like I have like my hype music, like Meek Mill, Lil Durk, stuff like that. And then like once I get back in the locker room, I don't like to be overly hyped, so I calm down, play like old R&B, stuff like that. Especially me being like kind of an old head in the college range, so I just be listening to my old R&B, kicking it, and then once it's go time, it's go time. But I'm not really a big overly hyped guy on game day.
You gotta get these young bulls into that old school R&B. I ain't mad at that at all, man. I ain't mad at that at all. All right, so we're in the locker room now. We're leaving, right? We're running through the tunnel, or I don't really know how the field set up. We're in Virginia, but imagine there's a tunnel. You're running out to the field. What is it that you go out there for? What do you play for, or who do you play for?
Oh yeah, definitely. I play obviously with my teammates, my coaches, my family in the stands, the name on the back of my jersey. Then what gives me like psyched up for the game, like people that can't do it aren't able to play this game that I love so much. And then I have a little more inspiration with myself. Me losing two of my best friends in high school, one my freshman year and one my senior year. So pretty tough. Like we were all close, and I hope I'm making them proud now. And I carry them with me all the time because I have them tattooed on my chest, like RP, LO, and DB. I got their initials on my chest. So that's what motivates me.
That's awesome, and I'm very sorry to hear that, man. But God bless to your friends. That's great that you have something that's kind of like your fire that you're bringing out there every which is about to be Sunday. I was gonna say Saturday, but it's about to turn into Sunday. So now let's get to like your high school. Growing up, you went to Easton High, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep,
and that's in Pennsylvania. You played for the most winningest coach in your school's history, if I'm not mistaken, Steve Schiffer. Can you tell me a little bit what you learned from him? Being such a successful head coach, I'm sure that kind of rubs off on his players a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've learned, from him and just being at that school?
Yeah, Coach Schiffer, like you said, winning as head coach at my school, then he even hit on like number 2 in Pennsylvania in wins all time, and then like number 6 in like the country. So coming from Easton High School, you gotta love football. The real blue collar, like you're not gonna get over easy. It's just real hard work. And then nothing really stuck with me with him, like message wise, just really just the hard work that we had to put in. Just because obviously there was a bunch of great players that went through through Easton High School. Not all made it to the D1 level and stuff like that, but just being able to transport kids to be able to have a dream, D3, D2, D1, doesn't matter as long as you get to the next level. So we have produced all that, and that just speaks dividends to him and the coaching staff, just preparing us. At the end of the day, like your God-given ability is going to take you far, but you obviously need the coaching as well.
Definitely, yeah. Hard work always beats talent. I think that's something we see day in, day out, especially in the NFL. Everybody's talented in the NFL. It's all about who works hardest. So staying on high school, I want to, kind of give you a pat on the back. Now, we've talked about Steve Schiffer. He had a great career, but you yourself did a couple of good things out there. So I believe you had a high school record with 7 touchdowns in one game. Can you
Yes,
tell me
sir.
about that? How was
Yeah.
that?
People love this story. It was Easton versus Whitehall, and everybody knows Whitehall was what Saquon Barkley. Me and him, real good friends, and that was the game we always circled each year because we'd always, obviously, with being us big good friends, big competitors, we always talk trash to each other like, "Yo, we about to beat you, we about to whoop up on y'all this year, this, that, and thing." Like, all right, we gonna see. So that time came senior year. Obviously, he again highly talented recruit, Division I recruit. So am I, Division I recruit. And I want to say we were ranked fourth in the state at that time. They were ranked 10th. And so it was like, I think it was the Pennsylvania game of the week too. So it was broadcasted all over Pennsylvania. And I don't know what's just shook inside me that day. I just couldn't let him beat us. And long story short, I had 7 touchdowns. He had 4 touchdowns, and but the game went down to the wire. One was like 63-49 or something like that. So
Wow. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know you used to play against Saquon. That's crazy. I'm actually a huge Penn State fan, so shout out to Saquon Barkley. So now let's move on to a little bit of college. You go on to Towson, and you put up some impressive numbers. All around. From scrimmage, I think you had over 5,000 yards, if I'm not mistaken, in Towson. You went through some setbacks. I believe it was the 2016, 2018 season that you had a couple injuries. If I'm not 100% on those dates, but I know you went through some setbacks and everything. But what can you attribute to all the success that you saw there? I know you had Tyree Jackson as your running backs coach, and he saw some of the NFL. Did he help you? Did he tell you anything that kind of stuck in your mind even now?
you talk about Tyree Foreman?
Foreman, exactly. I'm sorry about that.
Like me at Towson, I can't take all the success for myself. Obviously, I had great coaches there. I had offensive linemen helping me, QB handing me the ball, wide receivers blocking, return units. So I can't really take all the success on myself just because that wouldn't be right for me.
Definitely.
And definitely, I'm not gonna have all those yards without them. So I pay dividends to my guys. Then Coach Foreman, he was my at Towson. I had probably like 5 running back coaches, 5 or 6 running back coaches out my time there. But all taught me different stuff. So I obviously gained my football IQ throughout each coach. But Coach Foreman coming in 2019, even though it was brief, it was definitely good getting the insight from a guy who's been where I want to be at in the NFL. Even though he said he didn't last that long, he said, but just getting there was a dream for itself. But he taught me all the things to do, more so like money wise, stuff like that, finances, and then football gonna take care of itself. He basically just said, you got all the tools, just keep working. Don't ever get complacent, and just keep working.
Definitely, and not just him on having success on the field. He also coached Bernard Pierce for the Ravens, who I believe went 3rd round.
Mm-hmm.
So you definitely got an inside guy there. That's definitely somebody I would definitely listen to. So going back to Towson again, Towson, in your final season, you were granted a 6th year, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And in that final season for Towson, am I saying it right? Because I feel like I'm not saying it. And in your senior season for Towson, they canceled the season, correct? How was that? Obviously you went to UVA, so you did find a home, but you entered a little bit late. How was that? I know it's probably a little bit stressful, a little bit chaotic, but
yeah, definitely that whole process was crazy because now people know. 2019, my 5th year, I was up for the Heisman, this, that, and third, really doing my thing, and then I tore my knee up my 3rd game of the season. So obviously got granted my 6th year in January, and obviously I'm working back, trying to get back with my boys, and obviously COVID hit. Like around March, and I was like 5 months out at that point. But the only thing I was really missing in my knee was like strength and obviously like the confidence mentally to know like, yeah, I'm back. So I was just grinding throughout quarantine. Thank God I was able to come back home to Pennsylvania to get some work in the weight room at my training spot called Matrix Performance in Allentown. Shout out to Tyler. Um, he got me right through the whole process. I was with him 5 days out the week, just really grinding. See my body change, get my strength back up. Now around like 8.5 months, that's when I felt like I was like I'm back, like strength wise and stuff. I did 475 single leg squat, 570 back squat. So I was really getting in the weight room. So I can't thank him enough. And then
Basically squatting me out here. You basically squatting me in a little bit out
yeah,
here.
no doubt. And then obviously what you hit on, getting prepared to go back to Towson in the summer to do workouts and stuff. And then obviously we got hit CAA conference, not gonna be able to play this year, suspended. So I'm just like, damn, I just worked all this for what? So I was like, had to sit down with myself real quick, like, do we enter the draft right now and just start working? And just build, like, just go off your resume right now, like my resume, and be content with it, or do we want to go enter the transfer portal, give like the scouts, GMs, whoever is looking at me to pick me in the draft, um, make sure there's no red flags, there's no lingering issues in the injuries, and that's what I ultimately did. I told my parents that I think that would be the best for us, and they were right behind me. Then ultimately I chose University of Virginia.
Yeah, and I think you made the right choice, man. And going into University of Virginia, I know that was probably like, kind of crazy for you. I mean, I know Towson is probably a huge school as well, but University of Virginia probably got a little bit crazier. But you had some moments there as well, and one that I want to talk about is the upset over the number 15th ranked North Carolina. That was pretty much a pretty good come out game for you, if I would say so myself. You had 70 rushing yards, 71 receiving yards, if I'm not mistaken, in that game. Can you tell me about what that felt like? Because I mean, that had to be a great feeling to go out there and pull an upset like that off.
Yeah, definitely from a team perspective, it was huge just because we had all the talent in the world on both sides and the special teams, but we just weren't clicking at the time. So like finally putting the stuff together around Halloween, which is kind of weird, but
Got
uh,
spooky.
definitely got spooky. But just obviously all of us just putting it together. Like we don't lose at Scott Stadium, which is our stadium down in Virginia. We don't lose there, and it speaks values because we think like 19-2 over the last 3 years
Wow.
at Scott Stadium. So we definitely built that reputation. But for me personally, uh, that was a coming out game for me. For myself, coming back from a major knee injury, coming to a Power Five, not starting right away, was ended up starting right after that game for the last 5 games. So be able to be the leading rusher on both sides with Michael Carter and Javonte Williams on the other side. So I'm glad I outdueled them. And then being a leading receiver on my team as well was huge. That just shows the impact I have versatility wise from rushing, being able to block, receiving, then returning kicks as well. So that was definitely huge, personally and team perspective wise.
Definitely. I remember that 71-yard swing pass. I want to say it was 71 yards. Swing pass, it just took off, man. Just took off. It was very scary. It was crazy. I'm not going to lie. I've been watching, I watch film, right? I like to watch film to get like a real, a real feel for what a player is. But then obviously everybody throws highlights in your face. And just watching your highlights, man, you remind me so much of a former Eagle great, Brian Westbrook. You remind me so much of him just because you can do a little bit of everything. And it brings me into actually the next thing I want to talk to you about, which is your special teams prowess. So I said the 71-yard swing pass, but you had, correct me if I'm wrong, a 73-yard return against Boston College as well in that same year. Mm-hmm. Special teams is something that you thrived off, over 2,000 yards in Towson for you on the special teams unit. Is that something that going into the NFL you want to emphasize and kind of continue to concrete your role on special teams?
Oh, definitely. That's where I started my career as a freshman. That's part of like my DNA. That's part of me, and that makes me who I am as like a football player. Because I don't want to be noticed, be labeled just a running back or receiver or just a returner. Nah, I can run, I can receive, I can pass block, run block, and I can do punt returns and kick returns. So just being as versatile as I can, market myself, because not many people can return kicks, punt or kick returns. So just added more value to myself. Yes, I did have my injuries in the past, but those are long gone now. So I'm just making sure I make myself one of the most marketable in this draft, just due to the fact that I can do anything you want me to.
Definitely. I think people are sleeping on you, man. I really do. Especially like I said, once I started looking into the film, I'm like, damn, bro, this dude is nice. Some of the shakes, especially in Towson, the highlights I saw from Towson, some of the shake and bake that you would do on that field was just ridiculous. So let's talk about on field and locker room. I want to, we're gonna get into the strengths and weaknesses now. So like, if I was an NFL GM, tell me a little bit about what your strengths and weaknesses are on and off the field, in the locker room. What type of guy are you as well?
Definitely in the locker room. I was going back to Towson. I was a 2-time team captain. Was going to be a 3-time team captain coming this year prior to the season being canceled. So that speaks volumes of my leadership and the type of person I am. I'm always willing to help, stay after with guys if they need help, either with film, footwork, blocking or whatever. I'm just that type of dude, because that makes me get better, just teaching wise, and also helping me learn patience. I actually have patience on my hand. So because everybody, like, even with me, I struggle sometimes with like some footwork, maybe pass blocking, because every rookie always has kind of troubles with pass blocking. So that's a weakness of me. That's a strength that I want to build upon. I wouldn't say there's too many weaknesses, but definitely one I can say is definitely pass blocking. Keep improving, because you can't get any. You can always improve on something. So I think that's probably something that I definitely want to really, really focus on.
And then as far as like your weaknesses, what do you think? I mean, I'm sorry, I just spaced for a second. I meant to ask you. Obviously, this is a Philadelphia Eagles, podcast. We mainly talk about Philadelphia Eagles. I know a little bit about your history and who you might root for, so we'll talk about that in a second. But I wanted to ask you, if I'm Howie Roseman, which thank God I am not. If I was Howie Roseman and you're sitting down with me, what kind of player are we going to get if we were to draft you?
You're getting an all-around player who wants to do it all and help the team in any way, from rushing, receiving, catching out the backfield, motion me out. You can put in different packages with me and Miles Sanders just to really confuse defenses and make mismatches, not only for myself but everybody around me. I'm willing to do the dirty work, block, to do kickoff returns, punt returns. Definitely want to keep doing special teams. And then even stuff not on special teams that involves me having the ball, even kickoff, don't really have too much experience at it, but sure, that gets me on the 53-man roster. Either way, I'm definitely with it. So anything, and then you obviously getting a leader as well, being a 2-time captain as well.
Definitely. I like all that. So, all right. Lastly, I got to say this. You brought up Saquon earlier. Didn't want to bring all this up, but, I may have heard wrong, and I'm hoping I did. I'm hearing you're a Giants fan?
Yeah, that's because me I was born in Jersey. I'm probably going to get some backlash, obviously, being this season.
Nah, it's all good, man. It is what it is, man.
Yeah, me being in Jersey, it probably was 20 minutes away, 25 minutes away from New Brunswick growing up before I moved to Pennsylvania. So obviously I was a big Giants fan. Tiki Barber, Amani Toomer, Michael Strahan, all those guys. So definitely a big Giants fan. Then obviously one of my boys getting drafted by the Giants. I couldn't root for nobody else. So
yeah, I respect that. Yeah, no, Matthias Kiwanuka, I don't know if you remember him from the Super Bowls and everything. Mm-hmm. He follows us on Instagram. So I reached out to him and I was like, bro, we got somebody that's a fan, try and shoot me a video. He said he's gonna try. If he ends up doing it, I'll send it to you. But yeah, so I had to say that. I couldn't let you leave without giving you a little bit of, a little hard time on that. But listen, Shane, thank you so much for coming on here, taking your time. This was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you for having me.
Definitely. And listen, man, when you do get drafted, maybe you'll be rocking that Eagles green. That's what I'm hoping for. Don't forget about your boy. Come back on. You're more than welcome. You know what I'm saying? You family now.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully they do. We'll see. We never know.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Trust me. We will be rooting for you. So thank you to everybody that's in here watching, rocking out with us. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, and share this with like Eagles Foundation so they make sure we get the right running back in this draft. He's right here. It's easy for you guys, you know. But other than that, man, it is Fly Eagles Fly, and we are out here. Peace.